OK, so juste comme les verbes qui sont dans la forme de la botte ont la même prononciation, OK, je parle, tu parles, il, elle parle au pluriel, ils ont tous la même prononciation, OK? Autre chose, parler avec ER a la même prononciation que parler avec EZ. C'est le son A. Okay, so just how in the last slide and at the end of the last video, I talked about how there are certain endings that have the same sound. This one has the same sound too. Parler with ER, to speak, has the same, sounds exactly the same as parler, EZ, which is from the vous, you formal, or you as a group, parler. Okay, so just be aware that even, and I guess be a little bit less afraid of this, that even though you are learning a lot of new things right now, actually there's a lot of sounds that are the same. So if you can produce it for one, you can produce it for others. Okay, you can do this. All right. Now, I know I said that all of the ER verbs are the same. Okay, well, there's an exception. Il y a toujours des exceptions. Okay, so they are always the same, except those ER verbs that end in GER, okay? And this is due to pronunciation changes in the new form. So if we look at a verb like manger, okay, the G, remember in French, is pronounced J, okay, so manger. When we're saying all the different, forms, je mange, tu manges, elle mange. Then we get to the new form, nous mangeons, vous mangez, elle mange. So notice in the new form, I've left the E in there. And I know you're like, oh, Miss Toulson, like you said, you always drop the ER and you add ONS. Well, if I were to do that with verbs that ended in GER, imagine if we didn't have that E there. Then the G would be directly in front of the O, and that would change how we would say it. It would be mangon, okay? And as we know, French is a very melodic, very lyrical language. No, 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 no. They cannot have a verb like manger that has the je sound and then je mange and then all of a sudden nous mangeons. Ah, no, okay? C'est pas possible. So for verbs that end in GER, they've made the exception. You leave that E in there so the G stays soft. Nous mangeons. That allows that pronunciation to stay in the same pattern. Now, there is another GER verb in your list. Can you think of what it is? There's actually two. Nager, to swim. So you're going to do the same thing with nager. And then the other one, to travel, voyager. Okay, so nous voyageons. All right. Put this in your notes because this is something that always shows up on a test. I always put it on a test, and you can be guaranteed that when you take French in the future, French teachers love trying to catch people out on this. All right. So GER is the exception, all right? But other than that, just, take, go through the module in Canvas, look through the videos. Some of them are cheesier than others. And then we will keep working on the pronunciation as well. But just remember with this, we've got je parle, tu parles, elle parle, parle. Then when we go to ER and EZ, parler. So really, you've only got two sounds here, parle and parler. And then for the new form, we have ONS, parlons. Okay, so I have confidence in you. I know you can do this. I would go through and write out the conjugations for each verb to memorize the spelling and practice saying it out loud. I will get you some more Quizlets and quizzes and activities to help you, but just any interaction you can have with these verbs to kind of get it in your head and get used to seeing the spelling patterns and trying to say them out loud will help you. Okay?